beep, 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 beep. Hello and welcome to the Court of the Edijester once more. How are we? Look, please do subscribe. That's the most important thing. I've got to get my numbers up. I need a bigger voice. Oh, so I can, have a pop at folk and it matters. That's what happens when you've got a few peeps that follow you. My thanks to all my followers and all of those of you that help me out, particularly to my warrior teachers who are just the best. Hey, the best folk doing the best stuff. Scrappers. Keep scrapping. Carry on scrapping. Oh, has Mo come up with one yet? I don't know. I haven't looked. That was yesterday, wasn't it? Right, so this is brilliant, right? It's from Meghan Murphy. Go, Meghan! We love a bit of Meghan. Never back down. Never. And it's called There Can Be No Compromise in the Trans Debate. And it was from Spiked Online, who Meghan has written for. And it's really exploring what's been going on in America with the left since Trump's win and since the continual wins that we seem to be having against the LGBTQ plus cult and their gender gibbons. So here we go. There can be no compromise. Gender ideologues are now desperate to present themselves as reasonable and moderate. Don't be fooled. Now, I've said this before. So, Meghan, great minds, love. Great minds think alike. Right? So, yes, Meghan is now saying or reiterating what I've said to you in my previous video from a week or so ago. Meghan begins. As the Democrats are now forced to contend with the reality of Trump's landslide win, progressives are scrambling to catch up to a world that no longer wants to play along with identity politics. Oh, it makes me grin. Long-time leftists. Is there any of those left? There is a few in there. We've got lots of them in our movement. Leftists can't get their leftist knickers off. That'll be the end of you if you're not careful. Long-time leftists who made bank-hurling invectives at anyone who dared question the woke orthodoxy are now trying to gracefully fling themselves into a backstroke to catch the changing tide. Just glorious. What a glorious sentence. Oh, Meghan, I love you. It's such a glorious use of words. Hyperbolic media commentators like the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian both did rather sudden about faces. Now, these two are a pair of blowards. I've seen them at work before. They're both a pair of blowards. So they've sort of gone, oh, hang on. Here, Cenk. Cenk. Is that you, Anna? Yeah. Shh. What? I think we might be in trouble. Oh, shit. So they've done an abouty facey thingy going on here, right? They've begun to criticise Democrats as intolerant elitists. Can you imagine the conversation? What are we going to do? I think we need to criticise the Democrats as intolerant elitists. Yeah, but that's exactly the opposite of what we've been saying previously. Nobody will notice. Are you sure? Yeah. Right, let's do it. Meghan noticed, you pair of duplicitous swine. So they've begun to criticise the Democrats as intolerant elitists, despite themselves having spent years vilifying anyone who failed to toe the line on trans activism as terrible bigots. There's links here. There's links from Meghan in the Spiked article that allows you to see just exactly what horrible people these people are. Suddenly, the questions asked by the targets of people like Uygur and Kasparian are being repeated by these panicked progressives who now present themselves as moderate. That's it, see? Meghan nails it, as I said previously. Watch them. No, right? If they've been actively pushing this, I'm not talking about people that have just sat on the sidelines going, I don't know what to do, or I'm unsure, I know nothing about it. I'm talking about, acolytes, people who push this, right? Because these two, they're not high priests, but they're acolytes, right? So it's the acolytes. Not worried about the adherents. High priests, acolytes, adherents. Okay, so these were a couple of bloody foot soldiers, and we need to take them out. Suddenly, Democrat and trans activist. Here's another one. This bloke. Have you ever seen this bloke? He's like filtered his picture beyond belief, and then when you see him, he looks like that bloke with a blue face in Star Trek, on the opening credits. Do you remember? Like that. Democrat and trans activist Brianna Wu, Mr. Woo Woo. Oh, Mr. Woo. What did you do? Well, I'm having fun at the moment. Who many will recall as the woman speech marks, who sparked the Gamergate movement by claiming to have been harassed for being female in the video gaming world. He was a lying shit. Only recently began to openly identify as trans. He now positions himself as a reasonable trans activist, willing to compromise when it comes to trans rights. Yeah, you can F off, you vile man. According to Barry Weiss, who recently interviewed Woo, never mind, who interviewed Woo now believes that trans activists have lost the plot. Have lost the plot and have alienated regular Americans, thereby weakening the trans right movement as a whole. Is that what did you do? Get up in the morning and take the scales off your eyes, Woo? You absolute tosser. Oh, gosh. Right, Martin Bailey, you absolute moron. One thing we learned from the recent US election is that Americans are done with watching males win gold in female sports competitions. They will no longer stand by while grown men waltz into their daughters' changing rooms. The gender identity ideology forced upon us all over the past decade is very quickly becoming a thing of the past, and Democrats are noticing. Is this, I've got warrior teachers who work with me who are American. I'm going to be asking the question when I see them this month. Is that what's happening? Are we seeing a move? Is there a huge disturbance in the farce? I ask myself. The gender, right, so here we go. According to the New York Times, Democratic Congressman Seth Moulton has suggested that the party's shift in approach to transgender issues. Democrats spend way too much time trying not to offend anyone rather than being brutally honest about the challenges many Americans face. This is interesting, isn't it? Moulton said, I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a male or formerly male athlete. No such thing, mate. Right? But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that. Yep. So you're not really saying anything, Mr. Moulton. What you're saying is, I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a male. That's all you needed to say. Because there's no such thing as a formerly male athlete, you idiot. But as a Democrat, I'm just as stupid about this as I was 5 minutes ago. No, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that. Now, what's also interesting in that particular sentence is Democrats spend way too much time trying not to offend anyone. At the part of this is a kind of utopianism. People believe that there's a utopia that can be achieved. And this is what sends people round the bend. All of this guff, essentially. And then Meghan responds to that with, it's a rather tepid comment, particularly considering that Moulton backed a number of trans rights bills in the US last year. He signed a letter calling on President Joe Biden and Democratic congressional leaders to reject any anti-LGBTQI plus provisions in the budget, including one related to preserving women's sports in schools and colleges. So this guy has said, I'm done with it, right? Maybe we've got it wrong, but 5 minutes ago he was saying, don't let anybody go after the LGBTQ cult, whatever you do. And now he's saying he has nuanced views on these issues. Do you? Are you feeling the sting of a societal bum spanking? I think you probably are. And it's glorious, I say. Listen, there's lots more, but thank you, Meghan. Just an absolutely cracking piece from Meghan there and Spiked. Go buy me a coffee, subscribe, share this on Twitter. For goodness sake, I need to grow my voice. If my voice gets bigger, I can ring up people and say, hey, this EDI crap that you're doing, I've got X number of thousand people and I'm going to do an article about it. That's what I'd like to be able to do. And only you can help me do it. Subscribe, buy me a coffee, the usual stuff. I'd love to be able to do that. Can you imagine? I know. It's craving power and that's wrong. But I can't help myself. There's too much good news. I'll see you later. You all have a fantastic day and keep scrapping. All right? Bye-bye, everyone.